Good afternoon, Your Honor. Daniel Magoo.
All right. Mr. Gu, you are representing yourself. I do have to apprise you that you are before the court on charge of resisting and obstructing a police officer. That is a high court misdemeanor, or what technically is known as a high court misdemeanor, and or felony punishable by up to 2 years, $2,000 fine plus court costs. There are great perils in representing yourself in this. You have to understand that I am going to treat you the same as though you know the laws and the rules of evidence. I will not treat you worse because you are not represented. I will not treat you better or grant any favors or try to clarify anything for you. If, for whatever reason, during any point in this proceeding, you wish to be represented by counsel and cannot afford to hire counsel, counsel will be appointed to represent you. As I have in the past hearings asked you to acknowledge what I've said, I'm going to only indicate that I believe that you understand English. You believe that the words that I have said to you are understood, so that we don't get into, you need to remove the gum from your mouth.
Mr. Mercer is back, and he's about to learn exactly why having legal representation is so important. If this is your first time here, this video is actually part 2 of a previous one we did. Daniel Mio is frankly an absolute idiot. He refuses to answer Judge Simpson's questions, acting smug and arrogant as if he's somehow above everyone else. Right from the start, things go downhill for Mr. Mio. And honestly, even saying his name feels strange. It's just such an odd one. But chewing gum in a courtroom while having no legal representation? That's just asking for trouble. Seriously, never do what Mr. Mio is doing here. Anyway, enough of my commentary. Let's dive right in and see what happens between Mio and Judge Simpson today.
And so I will not ask you to acknowledge. I will presume that you do indeed understand everything that I've said. Now, having said that, what are we doing with this case?
I'd like to move for evidentiary hearing or a prelim.
You wish to have a preliminary examination?
Preliminary examination, yes, sir.
Would the people have their witnesses available the second?
We can try, Your Honor, but before moving toward that, would the court be willing to make its inquiries about discovery? I am aware of the defendant having filed a writ of mandamus with the Court of Appeals of the state of Michigan.
Yes.
That was subsequently dismissed without prejudice by the Court of Appeals.
Correct.
Contained within that, though, there are allegations that my office has violated its Brady obligations and has not provided sufficient discovery. So I'm not sure if we're ready to move forward to preliminary exam. The defendant is saying that he doesn't have all of the discovery. That is the concern. The record I feel compelled to make at this time, though, is that the people have provided, I do believe, complete discovery to the defendant, and I believe that some of the representations that were made in this writ of mandamus that has been dismissed appear to allege that things that have already been denied by this court should be produced. Furthermore, the defendant filed a motion with no notice of hearing attached to it. So there's an outstanding motion in this case as well, no hearing date scheduled. So I'm hoping that you can sort of reconcile both of those things as whether or not discovery is something the defendant is to move forward, and if he ever has filed a notice of hearing to go along with the motion that I received in this case on 11/22.
Mr. Magoo, your response?
My response is that I thought this was the hearing that we were setting for the motion. So if I have to set a motion for a notice of hearing for that motion, I will do that today, Your Honor, promptly.
What about discovery?
I'm ready to move forward on my what I meant by my discovery comment was that there's still no exculpatory evidence as far as that I did anything wrong as far as anything that they've submitted. So if it was improper for the wording, Your Honor, I apologize, but my ultimate goal is have the prosecution present their evidence against me.
I'm going to indicate discovery is complete because I don't know what you're saying, because what you just said regarding discovery didn't make any sense. As it regards the motion, We will hear the motion or the motion will be heard on date of exam.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Deal with it at that point in time. So the people would have their witnesses available on the second.
We can try for the second, Your Honor.
Preliminary examination in person, January 2nd, 2025, 12.
Yeah.
12 noon, that is before me.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And continue.
This guy is the perfect example of why you absolutely need legal representation. Not only is he completely unprepared, but he's also incredibly smug, trying to outsmart the judge for reasons that make no sense at all. Honestly, if anyone can explain why this man acts so irrationally, let me know in the comments, because he truly seems unhinged. He gives off major sovereign citizen vibes, and if you've seen the ones I've covered before, you'll know exactly what I mean. They all share that same arrogant, condescending tone toward judges, as if they're somehow above the law, and it's just pure madness to watch. In this particular case, the guy is being charged for assaulting a police officer, and because of that, he also lost custody of his child. That's not something that happens without serious cause, so it's clear this situation is severe. Yet he's walking into court acting like it's no big deal, like it's just another day in the park. He keeps insisting he didn't do it, while refusing to take anything seriously. Naturally, this only makes the judge despise him even more, and I think everyone watching feels the same way, that it's just another reminder of how important proper legal representation really is. Time and time again you see people, especially sovereign citizens, trying to represent themselves, and it never ends well. They always end up hurting their own cases, making things worse instead of better. And in this guy's situation, it's even more heartbreaking since he's already lost his child. He comes across as mentally unstable, immature, and completely out of touch with reality. Anyway, that's my take on the situation. I'll be covering the next part of this court case when it comes out in January. It's bound to be an entertaining one. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps the channel grow. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care.